Well, welcome everybody to another episode of Simply Nerdy. I'm going to stand in for Steven as the usual. He's the usual host. I'll start us off today.
I wanted a break.
And of course,
one. Yeah.
Of course, I'm joined by Steven and Andrew.
Yep.
Hey.
So we're recording a well overdue episode. Our lives got unfortunately a little crazy, so we're a little bit behind on some of the things, but we wanted to record some of our thoughts on some recent news.
Yes.
And I think the big one we wanted to focus on today was our thoughts on the rumors surrounding the two new Switch models. That, according to the rumor, there's going to be a Switch Pro, quote-unquote, model, and then a Switch Mini. With the Mini casting off the docking capability and just being almost like a handheld dedicated to that, and then the Pro being a more powerful version of the Switch to whatever degree. So the first thing...
They've already heard my thoughts because I did a little short impressions video.
Oh, did you?
I want to hear what you guys think.
Okay.
And then I'll add in my thoughts if I need to.
Okay. Well, so what did you think, Andrew?
My thoughts, I'm excited and hopeful, and I'm super torn because there's a part of me that loves handheld gaming. It would love just a Switch Mini dedicated, not docking, solid little handheld device, but then there's also the part of me that wants a powered up Switch. So if it's true, which it's looking like, I'm still torn. I'm excited. I guess I can say, like I said, I love handhelds. I love the Switch. I don't know. I'll just have to weigh the options and see when it comes out. I guess that's where I am. It looks really cool.
So you just don't know which one you'd
I just
buy.
don't know which camp I'd be in yet. So
Gotcha.
that's me. So
I think that so far it's really only a rumor still, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is
I'm
I'm.
the credible rumor.
It sounds like
wasn't
that.
it
Yeah.
Forbes who had something on it?
The Wall Street
There was
Journal.
Wall
there
Street
was a
Journal.
couple of them. There's Wall
Couple.
Street Journal and
So it's starting to sound like it's reaching enough of the bigwigs that it's preliminarily substantiated. We will see, but so I think it's safe to say that this follows Nintendo's scheme with the DS and 3DS systems, that it's highly likely they'd do something like this. My personal thoughts are also torn, but for different reasons. I'm a little bit nervous about them taking the 3DS approach to releasing halfway upgrades to systems. Now that being said, I like the idea of more power for the Switch. I think that closing the power gap as much as they can will bring more exclusive. Well, not exclusive. Well, it could bring more exclusives, but also more ports. And I think that that'll make Nintendo more competitive. Not that they're doing poorly.
no.
And just
But
give
just-
more options too. It's just
Yeah. I mean, these ports that everyone's like, this would be so cool on the Switch, but it's never going to happen. Maybe they can make that so that statement's not really a problem anymore, and then we don't have to rely solely on Panic Button to bring things over.
Panic Button, but they're so good.
Yeah, well, yeah, buy their games because they're awesome,
Yeah,
but
for real.
but I think that it would be cool if they made it so that it was more powerful to the point where the gap isn't quite so large. Now, I don't know how much they could close that gap. It's still a handheld, and I don't know the state of handheld power capabilities, honestly. Yeah. I think that it's probably more than a lot of us think, because I think what they were trying to do with the Switch is still keep it in the quote-unquote affordable range.
Yeah.
So I guess one thing that I find hopeful about them doing two different models is now, instead of trying to play the middle of the middle ground, to stay on the fence, they're making one model that's for the people who want it to be affordable and don't really put much stock in all of the functionalities, and then one that's more powerful for all of us avid gamers.
I have to say, I will be getting a Switch Pro or whatever they're gonna call it, just because my Switch has warped.
Has it really?
Yeah,
from the
my
heat.
Switch has a heating problem where it warps. It's starting to bend inwards on itself, and so my Joy-Con don't sit on there properly when I'm playing handheld mode, and I've scratched the screen because I thought I didn't need to buy a screen protector because you know how crazy I am. Anthony knows how crazy I am of all my gaming stuff and how I keep everything in the glass case, basically, so to speak. And I'm extremely careful with all my devices, but I didn't know the dock would be the one to scratch my Switch screen.
Oh, no.
And you play usually docked.
And I play usually docked. That's why my Switch is warping. But I heard that that's not a thing for everyone's Switch, so I got a bad Switch, I guess.
Well, it could also be that you're just docking most of the time.
That's
Because
true, too.
I play roughly equal amounts in both ways, and I mean I think my Switch has warped a little bit to the point where I got one of those cracks on the back casing, but it's a small one.
Okay.
But anyway, I think
Anyway,
I didn't know
could
that
be
was a
getting
problem.
Yeah, dude.
yeah,
Careful.
I think I've docked mine once.
Oh god. There you go.
Andrew is clearly
There you go.
a portable player.
I'm
A word of caution. I don't know if you guys watched my video or if you heard the rumor about what they're exactly taking out of the Mini, so to speak.
Oh.
But one of the big ones is that they're taking out HD Rumble. There's no Rumble whatsoever. Not only is there no TV functionality, but there's also no
Rumble.
HD Rumble. And then I heard they might be taking it out of both the Pro and the Mini. They're ditching HD Rumble altogether.
Oh wait, really?
Yeah.
That would be a weird choice.
I heard that after I made the video. I was talking to some friends at work, and that's what they told me. I hope they just misunderstood the rumor, because I did hear about the Mini not having HD Rumble. But if the Pro doesn't have HD Rumble, there's gonna be a problem.
There's no
I
reason
love
it
HD
wouldn't.
Rumble. I don't want that to go away. But the Switch Mini kind of makes sense. 'Cause if you're going
Yeah,
the
it makes
handheld
sense, yeah.
portable version, makes sense. It'll drop the costs. That's what I'm trying to say.
And you free up space and all
And
the
free
other
up space,
stuff.
yeah. But even then, that's a big part of most of the Switch games is the HD Rumble, and I don't want them to get rid of it. Even though I understand why they would do it. But that's what I'm torn about.
I see. Yeah, I didn't hear that about the Pro. That would be a very weird choice.
That'd be weird. I don't think that's true.
Yeah,
I
no, not
think
the
that's
Pro.
just what they misunderstood.
Because
But still, it got me worried.
see,
Needless
Enough
to
to
say.
get you worried.
Enough to be like,
yeah,
enough to be the point where I'm like, I'm just going to get another Switch and not buy a Pro. I'll just get the same version. If they've dropped
Face
HD
on
Rumble,
Switch, yeah. The thing. Okay, here's a thought though. I honestly don't know. So the Switch Pro, we're assuming, is just going to be a more powerful version of the Switch in its current form, right?
Right.
So, unless, and this actually brings up another one of the points I'm a little bit concerned about, but I'll get to that in a sec. Unless they make the Switch Pro its size bigger than the current one, then your current Joy-Con should still work, and of course, those are still going to have HD Rumble. So I don't see that necessarily being a problem, and maybe they'll just release cheaper versions of Joy-Cons that don't have HD Rumble,
That makes sense.
and because I mean those things are $80.
Yeah.
They already have the one with the real D-pad on it.
The D-pad. That's it. Power A or something.
Yeah,
No.
something like that.
Maybe it's not.
I don't know.
Some third party did that.
Third-party
had
license
no-
or something.
no
Yeah,
rumble in it.
no rumble.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So I don't know that we need to worry about that.
Okay.
Unless they make the size bigger. So okay, here's my laundry list of concerns, and then I'll also I'll talk
we'll
about
move on.
the things that I'm also kind of hopeful for. So my concerns, I have actually there's been rumors a lot about at least a Switch Mini for some time. Steven actually called it pretty early on, so go you. Didn't you?
Yeah, me and Andrew. I think we did
Oh,
it.
you made a weird
A
face
while
there.
ago, yeah.
No, I was like, wait, oh yeah, I did.
You did, yeah.
It was a quick face. Sorry.
So, I have never been a fan of the idea. Then again, I'm not part of the demographic that they're selling to for it, so I can understand that and appreciate that. But the thing that makes me nervous about the mere existence of a Switch Mini is the concessions I can see them making if they don't come up with some sort of good system to make sure that each version doesn't get shafted by the lowest common denominator. And what I mean by that is, okay, the Switch Mini can no longer dock. There is no way for it to dock. So now I see down the line, Nintendo starting to get complaints from players saying, oh my gosh, I can't play this game on my Switch Mini because I have to be able to dock it. And so then they're like, cool, we'll just make it so games don't benefit from the docking anymore. It's just... And what I mean by that is they're not going to take away docking from future games, but the new types of functionality that you can get from playing a game docked. I mean, local multiplayer, for example. What if they just stop supporting that in future games because they're like, well, we don't want players to, of the Switch Mini to feel shafted. And I'm like, that's something I'm nervous about, is that the Switch Mini is going to be the lowest common denominator, and rather than trying to embrace the exclusivity that will come with these different models, that they're just going to say, well, we'll just make a concession and just make games that all of them can play equally well. And then all of a sudden, it's almost as if all the versions of the Switch lost all of the functionalities that the Switch Mini dropped. Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I think that they're going to have to accept that this is the only way I can see this turning out well, is that that Nintendo embraces from the beginning that each one is going to have a measure of exclusivity. Already, by the very fact that the Switch Mini cannot dock, it already can't play games like even 1-2 Switch.
1-2 Switch. It
can't even play 1-2 Switch.
Nope.
Because you need detachable controllers and you need local multiplayer capabilities. Which I guess you don't have to have it docked to play 1-2 Switch together, but you do need the detachable controllers. Mm-hmm. So I'm really nervous about Nintendo pulling, and I call it an old Nintendo move, and making a stupid choice with this. I feel like it would be kind of stepping on their progress thus far, and so I will only be okay with a Switch Mini if they are fine with the idea that the players will know when they buy it, I am accepting I cannot play these games, and if I want to, I have to get a better model.
I was just going to say, I don't think that's going to be a problem at all, because when Nintendo rolled out the new 3DS, they released the 2DS with it, I'm pretty sure.
The new 2DS?
No, they released the old one
okay.
with the new one, and they said, alright, there are going to be games that can only play on the new 3DS, it's marked on the packaging, you can't play it on the old 3DS, and also here's the 2DS, all the 3D functionality is gone, mazel tov. And so that's kind of what they did, and so they've done it before, so I think they'll mark it like this won't play on the Switch Mini, compatible with whatever, Switch Pro and Original. So, I don't see them making that consolation to make it appeal to the other one. Just do it. I think they'll just keep doing with making it so it plays on these ones, and it'll probably have something on the back packaging that says, not compatible or fully enjoyed on whatever, like they usually do on them. So.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though, but from what I recall, the only exclusive game for the new 3DS was Xenoblade Chronicles 3D.
No, they have a whole slew of them. There's like
they do.
Yeah, there aren't tons of them, but there's a pretty good handful. I know.
Like 5.
No, there's more than that.
Oh, okay. Really?
There were.
I don't remember Xenoblade Chronicles.
There's Xenoblade Chronicles. They had Minecraft that was only on there.
Oh yeah.
They had
Virtual Console.
Yeah, the Virtual Console that can count. That's a ton of games. No, I'm just kidding. There's so Virtual Console, and I remember I've seen in the store there are a few of them where it'll have the title up top, and so they have released a few of those that were for the new 3DS exclusive. So.
Well, color me surprised and uninformed. I honestly thought this whole time that Xenoblade Chronicles 3D was the only exclusive. So
I was too. I didn't remember seeing any kind of advertising.
Oh yeah, there are a few. And I remember my little brother. He went to look for a game, and he doesn't have a new 3DS, and it was I can't remember which one it was, but it was only compatible on it, and I was again kind of surprised that it was only on the new 3DS. And there are some, and like Hyrule Warriors will play on the old 3DS, but it has the whole disclaimer that it's basically like it's not worth your while to play it on this.
Garbage.
Play it on your new 3DS.
One, even on the new 3DS.
That was but I do remember the reviews being like a 4 on the normal 3DS and a 6 on the new 3DS.
Yeah, that was weird.
A 6 is still terrible, but that's a pretty big gap.
Yeah. I don't know if I want that to happen to the Switch, though.
No, see, but that is something I'm nervous about.
That is something I'm nervous about, too, is this is only compatible with the Switch and Switch Pro. Switch Mini can't play it. I want to have the games come out for all 3 versions and have them all play roughly the same.
Wait, but that's the very point I'm making that I don't want them to do.
Okay, well, you and I are conflicted.
Well, because, see, then it is really keeping it to the lowest common denominator. Because then
I don't know if I'd necessarily say that. Maybe I'd just say they just keep it to the normal Switch, where if it's docked, it's 1080. If it's not docked, it's 720. But then again, if you're getting a Switch Pro, that defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And then also, if the Switch Pro, if the Switch Pro is,
I know what you're saying.
I
don't
mean,
know what I'm saying either. I don't know what I want. I don't want the new 3DS scenario.
This is, and I think it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be just like PlayStation. PlayStation 4, all the games will play fine on it. They play better on the PlayStation 4 Pro.
There we go.
And if you're really ambitious, you play it on your Vita
fine.
with the casting play. You get that lag, that latency is awful, but you can play it on your Vita, and the game will play on all 3 systems.
Good job, Andy.
See,
so,
yeah, okay.
That was good.
So
let's do that.
I'd be fine with that because the games on the PS4, as if I understand correctly, are programmed specifically to run at one, specific set of settings
For a certain console.
for the PS4, and then the PS4 Pro. It says, "Oh, look, you have you're playing on a PS4 Pro, so now I'll bump it up to these." settings.
Yes, that's what they got to do. Thank you. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay, all right.
There we go. That's not what
as long as it's not like, because like.
That's what I want.
Yeah,
We
but
figured it out.
yes. So I guess what I'm saying is that in the case of the PS4 and the PS4 Pro, the PS4 Pro would be completely defeated if they said we're going to make it so that these games can play the same on the PS4 Pro and the PS4. So then,
well, of course.
What's the point of the PS4 Pro?
That makes sense.
I mean, it maybe doesn't get as hot when it's playing the game. But other than that, well, right. But other than that, that doesn't warrant a new model.
Yeah, I know.
And so if they do it that way with the PS4 and the PS4 Pro, okay, yeah, that I'm totally fine with that. But that needs to, they need to start planning for that now.
Yes, agreed.
Because I do not want it held to the lowest common denominator.
Me neither.
That would totally defeat the purpose. Okay.
Positives?
I think there was. Now you guys gave me a brain fart.
Oh, no.
The other point that I was going to make. Oh yes. Okay, so those are my concerns essentially about the Switch Mini. Other than that, I understand that there is a demographic that will definitely buy it and that will make them money. So nothing wrong with that. PS4 or not PS4. Switch. The Switch Pro, whatever it will be called. The thing I want, so that's the version that I would be drawn to if they this rumor turns out to be true. But there's a few things I'm concerned about there. What I heard in the rumor was that it's probably going to be a comparable power upgrade from like the 3DS to the new 3DS, which was pretty small. The problem I have with that is that in a way the Switch Pro doesn't really have a way to justify itself if that's really all it is, plus maybe no more bezel around the sides of the screen. And maybe it's larger, which, by the way, please don't do that, Nintendo, because I don't want to buy any more Joy-Cons. I do not want to have to replace my Joy-Cons.
That's what I said in my video too,
yeah. Those were expensive. Unless you have, you roll out some sort of, okay, we understand you bought all these Joy-Cons and now we created a new size, so trade them in for these.
There you go.
Then sure. Otherwise, no.
And fix the drifting problem.
And fix the drifting, yes. But, anyway, so The reason why I was okay with the new 3DS, the reason why I bought it is, I didn't buy it for the power upgrade. Because first of all, I never played Xenoblade Chronicles 3D on it or any of the other exclusive games. The reason I bought it was because there was one specific thing I considered personally to be a killer upgrade, and that was stable 3D. The previous 3DS consoles, like the 3D, you could lose it so easily. And I got pretty good at maintaining it, but like I could keep it pretty well. David, my brother, he would get migraines from playing 3D, so he never liked it. But so with the stable 3D, that wasn't a problem. That for me was enough of a reason for me to do the upgrade. I don't see the Switch Pro having a similar killer upgrade if the killer upgrade is not a significant quote-unquote power upgrade.
And a bigger screen wouldn't be the bigger upgrade.
That wouldn't.
Oh no.
No, that's.
No, I mean
It's alright.
okay.
It's a decent
It
size.
is a decent size already, but I would like a bigger screen.
I'll take a bigger screen, but I'm not going to pay a whole bunch of extra money just for a bigger screen.
I
That's
agree.
it.
Yeah, I agree.
I want that bezel removed. I've seen some of that concept art, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that looks a lot better.
Yeah, it does.
But that's not going to sell it for me. What I want is when we say Switch Pro, like I want the same type of power upgrade that the PS4 Pro had over the PS4. It's not necessarily like new console worthy, but it's a significant enough upgrade that it's noticeable. It's noticeable. And so when we talk about a Switch Pro, I don't want a new 3DS power upgrade, which is almost nothing, and then nothing else to sell it to me.
It had the extra buttons. That's what sold me. Had the extra shoulder buttons and the little C-stick nub. That's what sold me on the new
okay,
3DS.
that's true too. But are they going to do that?
No.
I mean, like, that's just going to create more. That's going to create more console exclusivity than is already there. The Switch Mini is already problem enough. Now we're having a new version with more buttons. Unless they make them only programmable buttons, which then what's the point? So I see that this is my concern, is that so far the Switch has stood on its merits of being a revolutionary system that we can have all these awesome games on, and now all of a sudden it kind of looks like they might create a bit of a house divided situation, and I'm a little bit worried about that. So in the end, I know this is all rumors, and I've been sitting over here probably stealing the spotlight a little bit too much. But my point is,
concerns.
It's a cool idea. Obviously, the investors like it because Nintendo's stock shot up practically overnight after the rumor came to the fore. Yeah. So it's going to make them money. But I just wonder if in the long run it's going to be a good direction. And for them too. Yeah. I don't want them to take what makes the Switch good and then essentially take one half of it and break it out and turn it into the Switch Pro, and take the other half and break it out and turn it into the Switch Mini, and then all of a sudden we have these.
Everyone loses.
Yeah. Yeah. And so in the end, go ahead and make the two models. I'll probably ignore the Switch Mini, but make sure that each one is compelling in its own right without destroying the original concept.
I agree.
Where the Switch is still, even the original model is still something compelling, and the Pro version is just a way to increase your ability to enjoy these games. Make it, like I say, make it noticeably more powerful, so that we can start having these ports that people will just have to accept. You can only play on the Switch Pro. That's fine. They should understand that. And then with that, yeah, I'd buy it.
Yeah.
I mean, already I'm enjoying the idea of like being able to run through the Korok Forest and Breath of the Wild without slowdown. That would be even that would be cool.
Yes.
Let's have stuff like that. Up the power, make it cool. Do this right, and I'm all for it. But please don't trip on your own shoelaces, Nintendo. Don't pull a Wii U. Because you already didn't. So don't like decide that you should now.
Agree.
Hey, we're having too much success. Let's break it out and make it so it doesn't work anymore. Don't do that. This could be good. Don't ruin it.
Agree.
Thanks, Nintendo.
Yep.
All right. That's good. I like it. Do you want to say some quick things about the Nindies to close up?
Yeah,
The
sure.
Nindie Direct?
Sure.
I think
you start us off, Steve.
No, well, obviously the ones I'm most excited about are Cuphead and the Cadence of Hyrule, which I'm actually interested to play the the Crypt of the Necromancer. Is that what it's called?
Necrodancer.
Yep.
Necrodancer. Sorry, see, I'm bad. I want to try to play the first one now while I wait for that second one. I'm excited. It's the second one, right? That's the second one they've made, where they have
Yes.
Zelda components in it. Mm-hmm. See, I'm excited for that. And I want to try it.
Looks cool.
And Cuphead, I want to do a video with us 3 or 2 taking turns heading off and seeing how far into the game we can get without breaking our controllers.
Yeah, I'd be down.
It'd be really
yeah.
fun. I want to do it
Totally.
day one for sure. I'll pre-order it, and then we can do that, and it'll be fun.
I'm really.
I know there's a lot more to be excited about, but those are the 2 I'm most excited about. Okay.
Yeah, no. Same with me
That's-
actually.
And freaking Cuphead is a Microsoft exclusive.
not anymore.
Not anymore.
It was.
It was. It came on Steam first, I heard.
Yeah.
And then now it's coming to Switch. And Microsoft, wasn't Microsoft the ones pushing?
They, from what I heard, Microsoft approached the Cuphead team and asked them, "Do you want to make a Switch version?"
There you go.
So that's
what I
pretty
heard.
cool.
That's
That
pretty
is cool.
So
Microsoft and Nintendo keep playing nice. We like this.
yes.
Bring back good
Become-
rare games, right?
Become friends. And bring back Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh gosh, that needs to. Hey, if they continue this merger idea, maybe
Andrew?
this purchase from Nintendo won't
You've
be
started a
as.
thing.
Oh,
where we, went,
no.
we went from Nindies to possible Microsoft ports.
Well, that is
That's a really good
That's,
one.
yeah,
That's a direction I wanted to go briefly. Okay, there's a lot of cool indies on there. Some of them look really fun. Others are interesting.
Collaborations are cool.
Yeah.
These other-
I was gonna say briefly that Rad trailer. What the heck was that? I was like, what? Okay, but
It looks fun though.
yeah, there's a lot of
looks
others that
That
look really
silly.
cool.
That was
So-
a really good Indies direct.
Yes, the 2 for me were also Cuphead and Cadence of Hyrule, and I think the reason why is that aside from both of those looking like some of the most solid ones, I've always been interested in Cuphead, but I've just never
Same.
Got around
played it.
to yeah.
Same.
Um, Cuphead represents a major shift in, I think, potentially a major shift in the way that the gaming giants compete with each other, because now this looks like a major collaboration. Microsoft is making a significant concession here by allowing Nintendo to put this game on their system. Now, maybe there's some sort of mutual beneficial agreement they've put in place, but I like what this represents, that this might mean that more collaboration, more cool things like that. Ori and the Blind Forest, anyone? Coming to the Switch would be freaking awesome. And Will of the Wisps too, please. Anyway, so that one looks awesome, and also I do like myself. I do like some pretty Maso Core games sometimes. I like difficulty. I'm gonna toot my own horn here for a sec. I beat all of the Seasides on Celeste. I was insane. I was questioning my sanity when I started.
We didn't get any of the gameplay for that. We had to get all the gameplay footage for evidence.
Oh goodness! I don't know if I want to do it again. I can show you.
kidding.
I can show you
I'm
my
just kidding.
completion screen.
There you go.
But anyway, so I'm kind of excited at the challenge. And then also, on the other, so Cadence of Hyrule, what that I like about that is that it shows that Nintendo is really starting to build some significant solidarity with their indies. Like, not just bringing their games over and, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Hosting, like giving them attention, but actually starting to do some pretty cool collaborative projects.
Sharing that IP with them.
And it sounds like some of those indie developers are happy to be called Nindies. And Nintendo, and I know that's a fan word for it, but the fans and the developers and even Nintendo themselves are now calling them Nindies. And now Nintendo's starting to hand out their IPs to these indie developers, and I think that is awesome.
And can you imagine being that developer and being like, because I think from what I heard, they were just approaching Nintendo saying, hey, what do you think about the idea of making it so we have some DLC that allows us to just have some cameos or something? Nintendo's like, actually, why don't you just make it with Zelda? And
Make us.
I would have been like, oh, what? Oh, whoa. You know? Like you are being given the keys to the Zelda car.
No kidding.
Like, whoa.
Yeah.
And I mean, right after
That's kinda scary
Breath of
too.
the Wild,
Yeah.
like the earth-shattering game, now you get to make a Zelda game, and they're, anyway, that
I can imagine
think
your excitement.
yeah, I think that's pretty cool, and I think it shows that Nintendo is starting to actually really open up to collaboration in ways that I think could turn into some pretty good things.
Yeah.
So, plus it's really getting some attention for these developers too, because I never really gave any attention to Crypt of the Necrodancer before. I heard
Me
good
neither.
things, but now I want to play it.
Same.
So that's pretty cool. And then actually, one more thing on that subject with regards to collaborations. The recent announcement by Monolith Soft about hiring for the new Zelda.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I heard, actually we were chatting about this, I
Yes.
think on our little group chat.
Yes, you can go ahead.
That so they're saying they're hiring for Zelda.
2 years ago.
Yes.
Isn't it?
So possibly. So
Okay,
2
possibly
years
2
ago,
years
back in
ago.
2017,
Sorry, I don't know.
Monolith Soft put out a hiring thing for this game that they said was an ambitious new project, a major new project, something like that. That was a new direction for Monolith Soft. They're usually making JRPGs, and apparently it was something different. And they showed some concept art that at the time, I don't know that anyone really linked it to Zelda. Certainly, probably no one was thinking, oh, there's no way Nintendo would give that away. But now they're saying, yeah, we're hiring for Zelda. And people made the point, wait a minute, they were also hiring for something else 2 years ago, shortly after Breath of the Wild came out. Are they the same thing? And then people started looking at the concept art and were like, huh, there is some similarities. And Game Explain, I think.
Yep, it's Game Explain.
Cred to Game Explain, pointed out there might have been a Triforce in one of the concept arts. So, one thing that I think is really cool about that, first of all, we know that Monolith Soft can really do some good work because they assisted with Breath of the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
They were hired. Well, they're actually owned by Nintendo, as I understand it, but they
Yeah.
were put on the project specifically to help with their expertise is in making large open worlds, right? And so we know that they do a good job again. Only now it's starting to sound like maybe Nintendo's giving the reins a little bit more to them, and which could be really cool. And then to find out maybe they've already been working on it for 2 years. Maybe we don't have to wait so long for the next one, as we thought. So cool. So anyway, I've been talking too much. You guys, give your thoughts.
Next year, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Give us the Link's Awakening this year and the next 3D Zelda next year, please. That's all I have to say. That sounds awesome, and I'm very happy and excited. I don't know. I don't have anything to say.
I know there's
love
not
it.
much to add to that.
Amen.
Except make sure that it's at least on par with Breath of the Wild, because we're kind of expecting that now.
They set the bar, yeah.
Yeah.
Very high.
But surpass it if you can, because we'd love to see it surpassed, because we'd
True.
love to have that amazing experience again.
Continuous
So,
improvement.
Yes.
I think that's it.
Anyway, I think
that it?
I think I've exhausted all of my nerdy topics.
Love it.
Yeah.
Cool. Take us
Anyway,
out. Take us home.
we're excited for all the possible news here. There are some some concerns that we've already talked about, but for the most part, I feel like, me personally, I don't know about
Same.
you guys, but I'm still really optimistic. I feel like
Same.
Yep.
I think Nintendo's smart.
They're,
Hopefully.
I think that they've been making better
The new
decisions.
Nintendo
So
is making new, better decisions.
I think ever since
Since the Switch
the
launch.
Switch, yeah, ever since the Switch, they've become very savvy. And you know what? There's still trappings of some of their old weird choices, but for the most part, I like what they're doing, and there's some exciting things on the horizon.
Yep.
So good time to be a nerd.
Yes.
Anyway, thanks for listening, guys, and hopefully we won't have to make you wait too long for the next one. We're gonna
Yes.
we're gonna try to be timely.
Yes.
But thanks for listening. You heard it here first. That's Steven's line. But
Oh yeah, you heard it here first.
and keep it nerdy.
Bye.